Hello and welcome to the unofficial BSHL Senior Hockey League podcast. My name's Corey and I'm joined by my co-host Corey.
Hello, everybody.
So this is episode 20, which is pretty fun. The second part of this episode, we have a really good guest that I'm really happy to have on. Corey, go ahead and reveal it.
Charles Austin, goaltender for the Tracadie Alpines. This one was so fun. He's a vet of the league, 17 years in the league, in playing hockey, I should say. Just awesome stuff.
Yeah, man, he was really generous with his time. He told us some amazing stories, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. So that's coming up in the second half. The quicker I get to this, the quicker we get to that interview. So let's get right to this episode, Corey. We're going to start with Shippigan getting their first win.
Shippigan got their first win in... this was on Saturday. So there was one game before that, but we'll start with Shippigan since you mentioned it, because this is huge. Shippigan beat Bucktouche 10-8. 10-8. What a game that must have been. Billy Bezzo from Shippigan, he had 5 assists on that night. Jean-Samuel Lagacé, 2 goals, 3 points. Luc Williams, Shippigan as well, 1 goal, 3 points. Bucktouche not to be outdone. Samuel Leblanc, 3 goals, 4 points. Logan Timmins, 4 assists night for him. And Yannick Bidivo, 1 goal, 3 points in what looked to be a fantastic game.
Man, like such a high-scoring game like that sounds like an awful lot of fun to me. I was talking with one of the guys who has always been an early supporter of this channel. Ricky Bastrash is just a phenomenal follower of senior hockey and a wealth of information. So it's been fantastic having many conversations with him. But he actually made the trip to Shippigan with the JCs and was at the game, and he told me like it was such a back and forth game and such a high scoring game. It was a lot of fun to watch. So we missed out on that one. That's okay. Man, yeah. I wish I would have made the trip, but
I wish I would have made any trip. This weekend was not good for me. With the holidays and everything, prior engagements happened, so I couldn't really make any games.
You got to the Sunday game in LC, but missed the Dalhousie trip because of a family dinner.
Yeah, family dinner, and that one really disappointed me. I've never been to Dalhousie. I've never been to Tracadie. I've never been to Shippigan. So in doing this podcast, that was one of my goals, to at least go once to these 3 places that I've never been to. And you guys went up, and I was the odd man out, and I regret it.
I mean, the good news is we'll be back.
Absolutely.
Do you want to get into the other games from Saturday before we get into that? We'll go through all the games and we'll talk about the Dalhousie trip.
All right. Well, on Friday first, we forgot Friday. So River Valley beat Spring Hill 8-1. So another high scoring game for one side anyway. River Valley's David Brewer, 1 goal, 4 points. Adam Crow, 1 goal, 3 points. Kenny Robinson, 2 goals, 3 points. Zach Whitlock, sorry about that, 1 goal, 3 points. And the sole goal from Spring Hill was Ryan McDonald.
Big win for River Valley against a streaking Spring Hill coal miners.
Mm-hmm. Missing Bobby Davis in the lineup.
Which makes a big difference. What do we have on Saturday?
Saturday, we just talked about Shippigan and Bucktouche. But the big game that I missed, Dalhousie beat LC Pucktuck 11-1. When I saw the score, I couldn't believe it. Dalhousie's Jesco Bernard, 1 goal, 5 points on the night. Vincent Charette, 2 goals, 4 points. Joey Bernard, 1 goal, 3 points. Jamie Leblanc, 1 goal, 3 points. And I have to switch my page here. Ryan Mockler, 2 goals, 3 points. And Francis Thibault, 2 goals, 3 points. Pascal Valcourt, 3 assists. The sole goal by LC was scored by Mac Brown.
It was a great game. It was fun to watch. It was hard to watch for the Hawks, but and it's not even that the Hawks had a bad roster. They played poorly. They played well. It was just Dalhousie is a good team, and their goalie played phenomenal that night. So
I
let's
don't
get
know
into
what
the
it is
next
about
game from.
Dalhousie. Dalhousie is just they're what the Hawks were last year.
There's something. Let's go to the next game on Saturday, and we'll round back to Dalhousie.
So on Saturday, Miramichi beat Spring Hill. So I did watch the Roxanne Merle Young, I believe her name is.
Yep.
I watched her stream. I actually commented that, thanking her for putting these streams out, and she gave us a shout out on the stream. So really cool for her. So Miramichi's Brett Young had 2 goals on that night. Chris Keating had 1 goal, and Tyler Clare had 1 goal. Spring Hill, Renee George, 1 goal, Cody Orr, 1 goal, and Jordan Wenzel, 1 goal. So that's all the goals from the game. It was a 4-3 win for Miramichi.
Big win for Miramichi, yeah.
Absolutely.
That was all for Saturday, I think.
All for Saturday.
Yesterday, the game we were both at in Rishabakto, the Elsipogtog Hawks faced Tracadie.
Mm-hmm. Tracadie beat Elsipogtog 7-4 in a very, very good game. I really enjoyed this game. Tracadie's Jeremy Duguay, 3 goals, 4 points. Tracadie's Alex Basque, 1 goal, 3 points. And Elsipogtog, Brett Bernard had a hell of a game that day. 2 goals on the night. Mac Brown and Danik Crate, both with 1 goal and 2 points. Tracadie brought their A game. They dominated that game.
I don't know if they dominated it, but they played well. The Hawks brought it back. It might have been the best game that I've ever seen Brett Bernard play. Brett Bernard was,
absolutely.
He was everywhere, it seemed like.
You compared him to Bruno.
Yeah.
So that's high praise right there, because Bruno was our ace in the hole last year.
Yeah, I felt like he was just, playing well no matter when he was on the ice, picking up some good forecheck, got some good rebounds, and scored a really nice that deke for the goal was a beauty. So, good for Brett. He's a huge player for the Hawks this year. And Tracadie picked up the win, but yeah, the Hawks looked pretty good.
They did. Charles Austin was in net. We were behind the net with him. Great goalie. He's been in the league he's been playing hockey for 17 years.
Yeah.
So, fantastic job for him. A great win. Yeah.
Yeah. Great interview coming up. So hopefully everybody enjoys that one. Let's talk about that Dalhousie trip now. So
sure.
We bailed out of Rishabakto. I don't know, it was early to mid-afternoon, and we got to the rink, and Eric Peltier was at the door, welcomed us, hooked us up with some team passes and some different stuff, and just really made us feel welcome, which was nice. They gave us a shout out on the PA, which was fantastic, really appreciated. The support from Dalhousie and the support from most of the teams in this league really has just been phenomenal. Starting this, we didn't think it would go to here, but it was fantastic. It was a great trip, and we want to thank the Dalhousie Marauders for making us feel as welcomed and as appreciated as they did, and they're a phenomenal organization. I would be lying if I told you that I didn't get some food at the rink. So let's talk about that. So the rink's phenomenal. The rink is a nice, cold, small rink. Seats are really comfortable. It felt like a really good environment. Just packed, Corey. Unreal. Such a packed rink. I had a burger. Burger was all right. It wasn't the best burger in the league. It wasn't the worst burger in the league. But Tracy got some deep fried pickles. I've never seen deep fried pickles at a hockey rink before. They were phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
Those things had some crazy coating on them. It was really good. They have popcorn stands set up in the corners up top.
Okay.
So you don't have to go to the canteen. You can kind of go to the popcorn stand and get some popcorn. And they also have like some people going around with beer, which is, really nice.
That's really
it was just
nice.
a fantastic experience. We also grabbed some Chig's Pizza after the game. They sell that at the Esso in Dalhousie. So we picked up 4 Shakes pizzas and came home, and
Had some for me the next day too, so I actually got to
that's
try that pizza too.
that's love right there. Is
That
saving some pizza for your buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And the pizza was fantastic. It was a donair pizza and a barbecue chicken pizza. It was hard to pick a favorite, but that barbecue chicken pizza, man, that was
Yeah.
incredible.
The barbecue sauce that they use for that is solid, man. So
Yeah.
if you're ever in the area in Dalhousie, I know they've got a food truck and they're around, but and the person that owns that pizza company is Travis Robichaud, the GM of the Dalhousie Marauders, who's
Travis Robichaud, my good friend.
he's a friend of the show. We love Trav. He's a good supporter. So
you wanna let the people know what Travis said about me?
I loved it, man. So
me too, actually.
In the predictions last week, I picked Dalhousie to beat LC because I was at the game the week before, and I was like, that Dalhousie team is going to be tough to beat. And Corey picked LC.
Yep.
And Travis texted me sometime in the third period, and he was like, tell the other Corey that his prediction was really, really wrong. And I laughed so hard. So
he screenshotted it and sent it to me. And I was like, that's the best thing ever. That means he watches our product.
Yeah, he listens to it. He's told me a few things that he hears, and yeah, he's cool. He's a cool guy, very good supporter. When they did the shout out on the PA, I didn't know that was going to happen, and it's the first time that a team's done that. And it was just a basic, we want to welcome the unofficial Senior Bossier Hockey League podcast to the game tonight. And then they just kind of said, if you don't know what the podcast is, they cover our team and teams around the league. And that kind of plug was just, it really gave some validation to how hard we've worked.
Yeah.
And that teams appreciate it means a lot, because there is a lot behind, the scheduling, the editing, and posting this stuff, but it's worth all that effort and all that work, because a lot of people are enjoying it, and that's what it's all about for me. So I'm glad that everybody enjoys it. We're looking forward to growing more and more and working closely with these teams. But man, the Marauders were amazing. And
poor Cheryl, though. I'm talking with Cheryl yesterday at the canteen in Rishabuktu, and when they started to announce the PA, she's recording. So there is actual footage of them as the game's playing. You can hear in the background, the unofficial Beausejour Senior Hockey League. And Cheryl's like talking to herself, going, don't shake, don't be nervous, don't freak out.
Yeah, she's hilarious. My sister does a lot of the shooting.
Good at that.
Yeah, she's really good at the shooting of the footage. But she kept her cool and she did well. This podcast and the product that you guys see on Facebook wouldn't be the same without all of her help with the shooting of the footage, because I don't think I could do it remotely as good as she could. I'd forget to hit record.
I'm going to shout out Tracy too, your girlfriend, with her social media and with the graphics and all that. Like it makes it look professional, and really Cheryl and Tracy are the true heroes behind the scene for us. So a big thank you and a big shout out to these two.
Yeah, we're lucky, man. We've got a nice little team. The 4 of us get to a lot of the games together, and it's been a lot of fun. So talking about Cheryl, I've got a story to share with you.
He didn't want to tell me the story. He's like, you're going to react to it on the podcast.
Yeah, because it's no fun if I tell you the story of the game, then I retell the story now. So we get to Dalhousie, and I think they turn the heaters on eventually in that rink, like facing you, so it gets a little bit warmer, or maybe it's when there's more crowd, it gets warmer from the body heat. But when we got there, it was cold, dude. Like, I'm talking freezing cold. So we get there, and after like 5-10 minutes, Cheryl's sitting next to me, and she's like, oh, I'm so cold, I gotta go get my blankets. So she's like, and she doesn't know where the hell to go in this rink, right? So we came in, we went around to the other side, and none of us knew where we were at that point, so whatever. So Cheryl goes to find these blankets. So, and to know Cheryl, she's very shy, she has a lot of anxiety, and going to these games is even challenging for her sometimes. So, props to Cheryl for going, and she has a lot of fun.
Such a great person too, though. She's like such a caring person, and just the best. She's like my big sister, actually.
Yeah, she's awesome. So she's going to get some blankets for her and Tracy because they're freezing cold. And, secretly, I want one of the blankets too because I'm cold as hell. But I don't want to admit that because I'm tough and I'm a man. But then I took that pink blanket and wrapped it around myself when she got back. So anyway, so Cheryl goes to find the way out to go to the car. And she goes down the stairs and she sees this door and she assumes it's the exit. And she pushes the door open. And it's the Elsipogtog Hawks dressing room. And I go, she goes, oh God. So she apparently, she like saw somebody stretching, didn't even know who the hell it was because she didn't look. Just saw somebody stretching, went, oh my God, turned around, ran, found the actual exit and went outside.
Of course that would happen to Cheryl. Poor girl.
Only to Cheryl. Poor Cheryl's, man. So
we should always have a camera on her.
I think, yeah, we're going to have to strap a GoPro to her head and just be like the adventures of Cheryl at the rink. Anyway, so she comes back and she's all freaked out. And Dalhousie hit the ice. And they were warming up, but there was no Hawks on the ice yet. The Hawks must not have heard like the buzzer go off or something. And it was like a minute and a half into the warm up and there's no Hawks on the ice. And I was like, are the Hawks not here? Like, what's going on? And Cheryl goes, oh no, the Hawks are here. I know. I saw them in their dressing room. And I lost it. That's when she told me that story. And I laughed so hard, man. Amazing. God. So
that is the best.
That's a great story.
That might be one of the best stories we've heard on the podcast.
That's one of the better stories we've had from our side anyway. But yeah, so Cheryl almost walked into the Hawks dressing room. Good times.
It would have been better if she walked in and the door would have closed behind her, and as she's trying to get out, she hits the door.
I can just imagine that she froze and was so embarrassed. But anyway, I'm sure no Hawks probably even noticed because they're all stretching and getting ready and whatever. But yeah, no, poor Cheryl, pretty hilarious. It was a great trip to Dalhousie. We'll be back in a bit, weather pending. We can't wait to make another trip out that way. Just a really cool town, really nice little rink, and yeah, it was a good time.
I can't wait to see for the first time.
There you go. Next time, if you tell me that next time there's like a Valentine's Day dinner or something, I'm gonna be like, bro, no way.
We don't have no Valentine's dinner. Like, I'm not one to. I like the holidays. I love the holidays. Actually, I love Christmas and all that. But get-togethers and all that, especially with family, like, it's not that I don't want to see my family. It's I barely like my family is you. My family is Joel. Tracy now, Cheryl, BT Bobby, like our wrestling family and our hockey family. Like, other than that, most of my family, except for my mom's really close family, I don't really know much of my family. So yeah. It's like, still working here, huh? Yep. Oh, you're still working there? Yep. Cool. And then it's awkward.
Meanwhile, we're in Dalhousie and Cheryl's walking into a dressing room. Man,
make me feel even worse.
That's what I do.
I know.
The predictions, really quick before we end this and get to the.
No, we can end it.
No, we got to get to the. No, we got to get to the predictions.
See you next. Take care. Take care.
I'm the host, and I'm not ending it. I think I went. Did I go 3-1?
You have gone. So, here's the thing. You went 3-2.
Okay.
I went 1-4. So as of right now, we are tied.
That's fantastic.
17 and 14, both. So we are back at 0-0.
That's fantastic news.
Yep.
I battled my way back. I strongly encourage you to pick any team that's playing against the Dalhousie Marauders. Strongly encourage you. And you'll think about it. And
I'm going to pick the Marauders. Marauders, if you're listening to this, Jessica, don't do this to me, all right? I'm going to pick you guys next. Don't lose.
I might pick Tracadie on Friday. We'll see what happens. Tracadie's rolling.
Last night, Tracadie's really good. There's so many good teams in this league. On my TikTok, on my BSHL Corey TikTok, I post some things there, and a coal miners fan. It's like coal miners fan, and there's a number. And I've been chatting with him in the comments, and he's like, the coal miners had a pretty rough one last weekend and all that.
Probably
So,
Dave Boyce.
it might.
It's probably Dave Boyce.
But he's like, I've been talking with this guy. I wish I knew his real name, but it's weird how we're reaching people now through Facebook and through YouTube and through all the podcast stream and now on TikTok.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's been a lot of fun, man. No regrets. It's been fun. We're gonna keep rolling with it, and we're only gonna grow from here.
Absolutely.
Keep an eye on the podcast Facebook this week. I've got a ton of videos that I haven't posted yet. Some amazing saves, some great Charles Austin saves, a really nice Danik Crate deke, some really good hockey from this weekend. So keep an eye on the channel. I'll be posting stuff throughout the week. And if you haven't yet, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel. That helps us a ton. And we're only growing, so we'll keep the content coming. That's the end of this episode, I think. So, Corey, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I hope everybody enjoys the Charles Austin interview that's coming up.
One of our best ones yet. He such an entertaining guy, very lively person. Just really enjoyed this one. When you can just sit back and listen to the stories, those are the best.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thanks to Charles, and thanks to the Tracadie Alpines organization for helping make this happen. So some fantastic stuff. Hope you enjoyed the interview, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.
Hello and welcome to the BSHL Senior Hockey League podcast. I'm your host, Corey, joined by my co-host, Corey.
Good day.
Really happy today, Corey. I know we were texting earlier. We're pretty pumped to have this interview. We'll now have had all 8 teams on the podcast, which was a big goal of mine. So, Charles Austin, goaltender for Tracadie.
Hey guys, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm happy.
I'm very good. I'm excited. I've been listening to you guys for quite a while now, and I'm happy for the invite. Thanks so much for having me.
Man, it came together so quick. So JF hit me up last night to know if I had like the last goal recorded, and the story with the video. So my sister is the one that takes all the video, and I had no idea that she was like good at capturing hockey video, but she's really good at capturing hockey video. So shout out to Cheryl for doing that. So I texted my sister. I was like, "Hey, do you have that last goal?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do." And we were behind you, right? We were a couple of feet behind you, behind the net. So I didn't see his taunt to the crowd until she sent me the video, and then I was like, "Oh fuck, this is definitely the clip you wanted." So
this is so much GF. Like, so yeah, he texted me. He's like, "Hey man, I can't do this in English. Like, I'm good, but I'll be nervous." So I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I'll text you guys." And yeah, here we are.
Yeah, well, thank you. We love it.
Yeah, no problem.
So we'll get right into it then. How long have you been playing senior hockey?
I started in 2007. So I played midget AAA my first 2 years, and then in my second year, we kind of quit midget AAA. I went to play high school, finished my high school, and my last year high school in grade 12, I played actually as a forward, and we won the championship. It was so much fun. And then I tried in 2006 when I graduated from high school. I tried to play with the Alpines back then, and yeah, I got cut. I didn't make the team. So I tried the year after. I was in the campus in Shippagan for the University of Moncton, and I made the team. And yeah, I started there. First 4 years, won the cup, 4 straight championships. It was a great ride. And then we were playing back then in the North Coast Senior Hockey League. I know like you had Nick Foran back a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, and we were playing actually against each other. And I remember that first year we played, my first ever playoff series was against the Phantoms, and they had some toughness like crazy. And we were leading 3-0 the first series. and they came back to tie it up 3-3.
Wow.
And they had like Matt Shannon, Nick Foran, James Scott, all those big guys. They were so tough. We went at the Lord Beaverbrook Arena. We were so scared. I remember one time Matt Shannon came to one of our players, and he's like, his name was Joey Lozier. And he went to Joey and he said, "Hey, Joey, want to go?" "Yeah, I want to go home," he said. We were so like scared of those guys. And we ended up like winning the series game 7. I remember, the ring was packed. And we won, yeah, so in 2007 against Kozapskal. Then we won against Dalhousie twice, against Lamech. And then we joined the Northeast Senior Hockey League.
Yeah.
So back Buktush and Cap Pelé had a team, and Memrang Cook. And we lost in the final that first year in 2012. And then we lost to Cap Pelé again in the finals. So we had like 6 straight finals.
Wow.
And then we didn't have a team. I took the team over actually as a GM in 2014. That was like hats off to all those guys. Like I know Trey Lewis a little bit. I played with him at the Allen Cup, and those guys are doing such a phenomenal job to put teams together. It's such a hard job, man. It's a like 24 hours, 7 days a week job. It's crazy.
I was talking to Travis Robichaud from Dalhousie about that yesterday, just the amount of work, and he's like, it starts in May and it's a few hours every night, 7 days a week. Like it never sponsors, rosters, scheduling, just it's a lot. But hats off to the men. Without them, we wouldn't have this league. So
no, and Travis did a phenomenal job this year, like putting up that team. They're really, really good. And so I took the job. We lost in semifinals against Lamech. Then the year after, we played. That was probably my best year. We played against Buktush in the final, Game 7 in 2015. That was such a phenomenal series. Like, they had such, like, Luc Cormier was still playing, Dan McLeod, Jacques was playing, Peterson, the captain from the Moncton Wildcats. They had, like, a powerhouse. And
was that the year they hosted the Allen Cup, or was that the next year?
No, we went 2 years after. In 2017. Yeah. So 2016, I played with Kedgewick, and we didn't have a team in Tracadie. I played in Kedgewick, and then 2017, they started the Acadie Chaleur League, and I was gonna play in Kedgewick again, but then Lamech approached me to play in their league, which was still the Northeast League, and they had like Montague, the team from PI, and a couple teams. And what was really interesting for me was because of the Allen Cup. Like that was my ultimate goal as like a guy that, you know, maybe I had a chance to go further, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And for me, that was my goal, to play for the Allen Cup, you know, the best senior hockey that you could play. So we went, and we had to qualify because Buktush was the host. So we played the qualify series against the Hawks, and then we beat them. We went to the Allen Cup. A couple of guys from the Hawks were with us. Rankin Campbell, his brother, Trey Lewis, Tyron Sock. And it was a great experience. And then we moved up to the Acadie Chaleur League. We won twice in a row, and then COVID came, and last year was a fun year too. Too bad that series was too late, so we couldn't play. We couldn't play this odds. That would have been a great series.
Yeah, it would have been a phenomenal series. The crowds were so hot, and Maybe this year we're going to get the finals. This year we're going to get the finals
at least.
Good God. That was just, I mean, and I feel bad for the players. I feel bad for the fans for that, because everybody lost out.
But to be honest, like you start in October and you're still in April, still playing. Like
it's hard.
There was kind of a mistake made with the scheduling, and because back with us with Acadie Chaleur, we're used to play during the week because the teams were so much closer.
Yeah.
But when it came to like down the BSHL League last year, well, teams were not playing as much during the week, so the series were going further and further. But everything went pretty good at the end. Like both teams won, but at the same time, we would like to see who was like the best team. Because I remember back then when I started to play, there was like 3 or 4 leagues in the New Brunswick, and we were playing the provincial. And in 2009, we won in Capelé, and that was like such good hockey. I know Richibuktu had a team. It was the Roadrunners.
Yeah, we had a few different teams back then.
Yeah, so yeah, we beat them in the final. Actually, we were leading 7-0, and they came back 7-6. And so back then we were 50-50. One of my good friend, André René Leclerc, he was the goalie, and we were like 50-50. And I played the semifinal against Black Harbor. And when it was 7-0, we were like chirping Richibuktu, and it was so bad. And then 7-1, 7-2, 7-3, 7-4, 7-5. On our bench, like we couldn't talk to each other. We couldn't hear anything. The crowd was so fired up. So 3 minutes left to the game, I get hit on the shoulder and like go save the game. So it's 7-6. So I remember, I don't know who iced the puck, and I put my hand up to tell my defenseman there was icing, and we were in power play.
Oh.
So there was no icing. So my defenseman comes to me and it's like, "Wake up, Charlie, like we're in a power play." I'm like, "Holy, okay, I need to be ready here." So he comes out of the net, tried to make a pass, and Scotty Sachs intercept the pass, comes in a breakaway. First save of the game, a breakaway. And then, anyway, we ended up winning 7-6, but that was the craziest game I ever played. Leading 7-0 was crazy.
The old rum runners, man. I was at a lot of the games back then. That was a good time at the old Richibuktu Arena. It was a different senior hockey league back then, though.
Yeah. Like more toughness, and like I was saying to you guys before, like going to Miramichi, back in our dressing room, we were and even in Dalhousie, they had like I don't know if you guys know, like Luc Roy, Todd Parker, Roger Hickey. Those guys were so tough, and we were going there with 12 guys and we were calling it the Miramichi flu, the Dalhousie flu. We were so scared, man. Like, oh my god! And we didn't have anyone. We didn't have anyone to fight. We had like one guy, Joël Malenfant. He was kind of tough, but he could play hockey. And there was a 2-fight rule. And then we had a little bit Patrick Loudon and Corey Smearer came at the end, but that was a totally different league. It was so tough. Oh my god.
Yeah, now you have full games without a fight. Unheard of back then.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Last night there was no fight, I don't think. So
no.
It was a good game last night.
Yes.
Let's talk about the rivalries. You mentioned Dalhousie. You guys have that rivalry from the Acadie League, from numerous leagues, and you guys were a phenomenal team. I mean, Tracadie, not to say Tracadie ran that league, but like, let's be straight honest right now, Tracadie ran that league.
Back in that Acadie, we had so much success. And back then there was like no imports, no guys from outside. We really had like such a good core, and for now, so that's why we had so many success. But we always had a really good rivalry with Sheboygan and Lamech. But in the last couple of years, I feel like Dalhousie's kind of taking over that rivalry. But like playing them in playoffs the last 3 years, that playoffs always creates good rivalries.
Oh yeah.
And it's this like Dalhousie is the best ring to play, in my opinion. It's the best ring to play. The crowd is so fired up. It's always jam packed. And like I'm so upset because we're playing them Friday night, and I can't make it to the game. It's my daughter's gymnastic concert. But like, it's always the games that I'm circling in the calendar. I know like the Dalhousie games are the best, and this year especially, which like they have a phenomenal team. Travis did such a good job, and like I think Francis Thibault is the best player in the league, and yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it's hard to say who's the best player in the league this year for me,
Yeah, I
because you see
guess.
guys like Jessica Bernard, and
Yeah.
there's so much talent in this league, man. And even you guys have a pretty young core this year.
Yes.
Um, Younger than the Tracadie team that I'd be watching 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
How's the locker room? What's that like? You guys seem pretty chill.
Um, yeah, it takes time sometimes like to create that chemistry. We have so many young guys, and one of my role is I'm the second oldest guy beside Matt Lozier, number 6. Like, so I'm 35, been there for 17 years. Like, you're trying to show the young guys how it works, like how are things, not to be too much intimidated. I know last week we played in Miramichi, and I felt like the guys were intimidated, like the crowds, and those guys probably came. I was talking to a young guy on our team saying that, hey, I've been watching you since I was like 5 years old. He's 22, and I've been playing for 17 years, right? So um, it's just to make sure that we're all men playing against men, and the league really is going to step up after Christmas. It's always been like that. Senior hockey is starting after Christmas. That's when we show really the teams are full lineup on the road, at home. So we're trying to show it's a different atmosphere in the dressing room in the like this year because of the youth that are coming, and I'm trying to show them that before I'm leaving, this is the way things are running, right? So, but in Miramichi last week, I felt that we were a bit intimidated. Like just, um, yeah, they were running us over a little bit.
It's hard not to be intimidated when you're playing that team, man. Nick Foran,
Oh,
and just that's a tough team.
yeah, they're tough and all skilled, tough.
Yeah,
But this is Miramichi, man. Like,
it's
yeah,
even the crowd. Like the crowd
yeah,
intimidates you, and the way that rink is, like with the section at the end overlooking the goalie,
yeah.
must suck a little sometimes.
No, exactly. Like, and the crowd, like, let's say you're coming from high school or junior B, and you come to a game in Miramichi on Friday night, and there's 2,500 people. I know, like, I have a lot of experience, but I know for some of them is really intimidating. And you know, uh, I remember going at the Civic. So I'm gonna tell you guys this story. So
I'm
we're
ready.
at the Civic. Yeah, we're at the Civic. That's December 2nd, actually. We're at the
Okay.
Civic and coming in, and in the warm up, the crowd is already jam packed. Like, we're like, what is going on? So we're circling around, and like James Scott, Nick Foran, there was a guy Wolf. This was like 6'7". Matt Shannon. They're all at the red line, stretching up and looking at us. So David Mitchell, and I'm like, oh, holy, we're in trouble. There's something's gonna go on there. So anyway, pretty quiet first period. We're leading 2-1. So I make a save. I'm freezing the puck, and James Scott doesn't stop. Ran into me, boom. And anyway, there's videos on YouTube for that December 2nd brawl, but it lasted like 15-minute long.
I
So all those back stories are, I think, still in the mind of some players
Yeah,
that have been watching the games and now they're playing. So it's still intimidating to play at some of the rings.
absolutely. We're seeing the league expand a little bit now into Spring Hill. I think it's the first time we've seen a team in Spring Hill. Um, it's cool. So River Valley. River Valley's never really had much senior hockey, and they're both getting really good crowds too.
Yeah.
So especially this year, you've seen Spring Hill really step it up. Like their crowds are wicked. Yeah, we were in Spring Hill for that game with you guys. How cool is it to see Tracadie fans in Spring Hill? and track. Like, that's a drive, man. Your fan base is hardcore.
Yeah, we have like I would say a 200 hardcore fan base that follows us every single game. Like I'm looking at during like stoppage and play, I'm looking at the crowd and I see the same faces every single time, and it's like kind of like a 200 people that are going to Spring Hill, that are going to River Valley, Miramichi, anywhere, and they're
You were in
always
LC
there.
last night.
They were at all the time, all the time.
It's
But
amazing, man.
it's amazing. Yeah, we have a good, I would say, like a good, honest, uh, demanding crowd in Tracadie. I always said that Tracadie is almost like the Montreal, where like if you don't win, it's it's hard, and if you lose, it's. I remember one year I think it was like 2009, and we had a perfect season that year.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the last game of the season, we were leading like five. We were losing 5-2 after two period, and we're 17-0. And so I'm walking out of the tunnel in Tracadie, going on the ice, and the crowd is booing, and we're 17-0, and we're losing 5-2, and we ended up winning 6-5 in overtime. But that's the Tracadie crowd, right? I hear so much things like still after those years, it's fun.
Yeah. A good chunk of our following is from Tracadie, so I'm really happy to have you on here. I'm sure they're all going to enjoy this interview. So,
Yeah.
man, just it's so cool. Yeah, Tracadie, for a small town like it is, amazing hockey rink. I don't think, Corey, you've never been to that hockey rink, have you?
I have not. I've never been to Tracadie.
Your first time will be
never been there.
Your first time will be Saturday.
Yeah.
It's a small rink that reminds me a lot of the old Rishabukto rink. Like, it's cold in there. It's I don't think the ice surface is maybe it is now. I don't think it's regulation. I don't think it's NHL size. It's just It is what it is. I love the rink in Tracadie. So
yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
They have good poutine too. I know you guys have been mentioning.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get to it right now. Then, what's your favorite rink food, Charles?
Oh, it's the poutine for sure, guys. Like, there's no question about that. It's the poutine. Tracadie poutine is pretty strong. Well, I never have a chance really to try the rink food, right? But now, like with my son and my daughter playing, my daughter's playing ringette and my son is playing hockey.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to taste a little bit more of rink food.
So we'll follow up this in a little while, and we'll get another answer next time.
Sounds good.
Perfect. It doesn't have to be a league rink. It can be just any rink in Bathurst area. It's fine.
All right.
How old are your kids?
I have 3 kids actually.
Okay.
So I have my daughter Avery is 9. She's a goalie for Ringette U10. She's playing U10. My son Jas is 6. He's playing U7 as a player, but also a goalie. When he plays spring hockey, he's a goalie. And my daughter is Lennon, and she's 2. And the terrible 2s are really strong in our house. Oh my god.
How do you manage? Like, how different is it now to play senior hockey with 3 kids, and you're teaching, you're doing everything?
Well, it's funny you're asking that, because like last night at the game, Alex Savoy is coming to us, and it's like, oh my god, I'm so like, he went out the night before, and I'm like, hey, listen. From probably 2007 to 2012, that was like every single night I was playing hungover, right? But I have an amazing wife. Honestly, like Jess, she's been amazing. She's been, so supportive. This year, it's hard. It's hard. A lot of organization. Like, people don't understand. Like, just for example, on a Friday night, I have my week in my body as a teacher, and then I need to be on the ice with my son at 5, from 5 to 6, because I'm coaching him, and we play in Tracadie at 8. So I'm rushing out of the rink. I'm like rushing to Tracadie, which is like an hour and 15-minute drive from home. And then my daughter's having a gymnastic class the same night. So my wife, is taking care of all of that. So it's it's really hard. I wasn't expecting coming back this year, especially after like ending the season such in a great note last year.
Yeah.
Coming, finishing last, and then our playoff run was just amazing. But it's hard. It's almost like you don't know what's gonna be after hockey when you're done. I'm still have such like the butterflies driving to Rishibuktu last night, and still, I know that the crowd's gonna be amazing. The ring was packed, and you feel good about this, and it's I don't know when it's gonna stop, and I'm sinking everything in to make sure I'm feeling all the great moments, because I don't know when it's gonna end, but it's because of my wife. Honestly, she's amazing, so supportive, but it's hard. Some days I played a game in well, it was actually against LC, and we won 7-6, and that
Yep.
was like a terrible game for me. But you know, I was in Fredericton for ringette all day, right? My daughter was playing ringette, and I got to the ring 30 minutes before the warm up, driving 3 hours to go down, 3 hours to come up. I was tired, man. Like,
Yeah.
and you try to do your best, and you're the goalie. It's not like, oh, you can have a break as a forward. You're not having a good game, but it's hard. But like I said, the wife's so amazing and supportive, and yeah, we're a good hockey family.
Yeah. It sounds like an amazing hockey family.
You talked a little bit about it, but something people might not know about you. You work for a goalie school, right?
Yeah.
Could you talk to us
So
about that?
yeah, so I was always working with Atlantic Hockey Group, based in Moncton, with Charles Bourgeois, and I felt that our goalies were going in the summer camps, and there was nothing going on during the winter time. So I was talking to Mario Larouche, and Mario Larouche is like my ride or die in this, and he was a goalie coach for the Titan when they won the Memorial Cup, the President Cup in '99 when they came, and he played with the Aigle Bleu, and so he had a lot of experience. So I was in my mind, I was like, we should do something for our goalies during the year. So 5-6 years ago, we started the Clinique de Gardien Cadichala, so Cadichala goalie clinics. And man, it's crazy. I could do clinics every single night and be full. It's crazy. I'm getting some kids from Richibuktu down your place to Saint Quentin, Planters, the Acadian Peninsula. So every Tuesday, I reserve that night of the week to do clinic. So I'm at the key serving in Batters or either in Caracat, and I have like waiting list, and
Wow.
it's been amazing. Yeah. So I'm running this. It's really fun, and I'm giving back to my community, back to my goalies, trying to give what I
Yeah.
know. And yeah, I think we're doing a good job. We have a little bit of prospect coming like after 5-6 years. There's a goalie. Um, well, both of our goalies with the Moose, the Norton Moose with midget AAA, they're one of them is drafted. The second one could be drafted this year. So yeah, it's picking up, man. It's really cool.
How's it feel to see kids that you worked with all that time get drafted to the queue and get those
Uh,
chances?
yeah, and not only that, like they often older kids, after a while the technique is not as much as the experience I'm giving to them.
Yeah.
Just the mental part of the game. I'm trying to be supportive with them. I created the webinars actually that I presented to some goalies in Alberta and all summer long as a teacher. Like I have my summer off, and I'm creating webinars to to present to goalies, how to manage the pregame rituals, all the mental toughness during the game, what is going on. And I think, they're really grateful for that, trying to give my experience back to them, how to deal with things, how to deal with, sometime you're not having a good sequence of the season, 2 or 3 games is going bad. How do you deal with that? How do you overcome those sequences? So yeah, it's really fun.
You mentioned the superstitions, the rituals. Tell me, do you have any?
Well,
You
I
have
have
to. You're a goalie.
I did put a little bit of thoughts on that because I knew that question was coming and you're always asking for that.
Of course. I love
And
that question.
in my mind, I'm not superstitious at all. And I've been thinking all day and I'm like, I'm super superstitious.
Yeah, of course.
So, so as you know, I'm super busy. So I need the energy drink before the game. And let's say, the game is going good. So last night I played a really good game and I had a guru. So I'm going to have a guru in the next game.
Okay.
I always sit at the same spot in every rink.
Okay.
And I have a anecdote on that. So our first game in Dalhousie a couple of weeks ago, I was driving from Fredericton again for Ringette, and I got to the game like 15 minutes before the warm-up. So I came in, and all the boys knew that Smearer was sitting at my spot.
Oh God!
So I'm coming in the ring, in the dressing room, going to my spot, and he's there. So I'm like, oh yeah, not that guy. I don't want to mess up. I'm like, if it would have been like a young guy, it would be, hey, let the veteran sit there. But he's like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, nothing. We're good. And they're like, oh, come on, Charlie, tell him what's going on. I'm like, oh, you're kind of sitting on my spot, but I'm feeling okay with this. So you're good. You can take my spot. But we had a chuckle on that.
Did Corey Schmear move to give you the spot?
No, he didn't.
Oh wow, Corey, not cool, man.
No.
The goalies.
Yeah. So I'm sitting every single spot. And another thing that probably I would say 5 of my teammates in 17 years know about this.
I'm ready.
Okay, so this is the first time I'm telling this, and I kept it for you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm playing most of my game. During my game, I'm playing with a hall, like the cough drop, a hall in my mouth.
Why?
I don't know. I started so back when I started to play senior, I had a stress cough.
Okay.
It was like always like playing like, so I'm like, there's something wrong with my throat. So I'm gonna take a Hall's cough drop. So I started that, and since then I don't have that stress cough anymore, but I'm still taking that little candy to play during the game.
And if you stopped, you'd probably lose that first game, and you'd blame it all on that Hall.
Exactly. So
I get you.
I'm playing. This is the stupidest thing ever, but I'm playing with the cough drop in my mouth. I would say like first period just to calm things down, and after when I feel good about the puck and everything, then I just like crack it in my mouth and then swallow it, and we're good.
Good.
That's the best. I love that.
Yeah.
I think the other guys that I've had on that say they don't have a superstition, I think they're lying, because they all have a superstition. Oh, I go in to get a coffee and I drive to the rink alone. That's a superstition in and of itself. So
yeah,
I'm calling Nick Foran out on that. Please don't kill me. That's amazing.
Charles, some time ago you took some time off from senior hockey, correct?
The only way, well, it was no, not really. I don't.
No,
it was either COVID.
Yeah.
1 year I went half season in St. Leonard, but then COVID hit, and we couldn't play. But I never had a year off. Just it was only reason it was COVID. Yeah.
Did you think
COVID was a
twice
stressful one.
after COVID about not coming back?
Um, no, like I was still. It's I came back after COVID. The reason because of that was probably for me, for my son, who started hockey, and I wanted him to see me play. And last year he started hockey, and he came to one of my game in Dalhousie. And after the game, he's like, "Daddy, I want to be a goalie." And I'm like, "Okay, this is just And yeah, since then he's been a goalie. But I wanted that to cherish those moments with my family and my kids, and for my kids to remember Daddy playing hockey, kind of. So that's why I came back after COVID. But the year after COVID was a really hard year that I thought of quitting many occasions. We were like a really bad team. I was used to have the best team winning the league, two times out of three. And we really had a bad year. We got beat by Dalhousie in that year when Shippigan won the cup. And we were going in Dalhousie like 10 players.
Hmm.
And I was getting like beat up like 7-6 with like 60, 70 shots on net. And I was just fed up. And then the year after in 2022, so Tracadie did really a good job of bringing back players and having really a strong team. And that's why I came back. And that was supposed to be my final year, but ended up, having a successful year. So it's supposed to be my final year this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were your kids at the game when you guys won the cup last year?
No, not at that game, no. But a couple years back in the BSHL League, yeah, they were.
Awesome.
But with Lenny being like 1 year old last year was tough, like being a baby to travel her around the. But yeah, I was a little bit disappointed they were not there to have that moment together. But still, a couple years before, we had a chance to be together for one of our championship, and it was special, man. I remember seeing a picture with Billy Bezo and his, going on the ice, and his son is waiting to just give him a fist pump, and it's special when you play and your kids are gonna remember that.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yep.
We touched a bit. You mentioned the teaching. You teach grade 5?
Yeah. So I teach grade 5 French immersion at Terry Foss Elementary School. I've been teaching for 11, 12 years. Yeah, that I've changed too since COVID.
Yeah.
Challenging now, but I'm passionate. I like teaching. That's why I've run my goalie clinics too. I like showing to the kids, and and they're always asking on Monday. So today they were like, "Oh, so did you play over the weekend? Blah blah blah. What did you do?" And the other day I was showing actually a video of R.D. Chisholm, that shot he took on me in Spring Hill.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, Lee, that we didn't even see the puck." And I'm like, "Yeah, me too. I didn't see the puck." Oh, yeah, RD's a really good player.
Yeah, phenomenal player. We've got a couple saves from you last night, one from behind the net, and they'll be going up sometime the next day or so. So
Cool.
Tell your kids to keep an eye out on that.
I'll show them.
It's awesome, man. This year, Tracadie's looking good. They beat the Hawks both games.
Yeah.
Friday, they're in Dalhousie. You will not be in Dalhousie. Are you going to be in Tracadie on Saturday?
Yeah, I'll be in net.
Us too. Yeah. Look for me with a poutine.
Yeah,
if I look really happy, you'll know that I have a poutine.
Yeah, exactly. No, come see us. Yeah, and go around the ring. There's pictures of our what we did in the previous years, and yeah, Tracadie is a cool ring.
Cold. It's really cold.
It's cozy. Like the crowd is close to the ring. It looks like Dogtown a little bit, where the crowd is like almost on the ice. But yeah, really, last night I remember the last time I played in Rishi-Buktu was against BSHL when they had a team in the BSHL League,
Yep.
and we played in the playoff against them. And I really like their Rishi-Buktu ring. The lights are so good. You see the puck so clearly, and yeah, it's really fun.
How do you handle heckling? How does that bother you? Do you hear it even?
No. I feel I hear the crowd more over when I'm like getting older now that I feel getting older, it bothers me a little bit more of people chirping me. I don't
Okay.
know why, but yeah, back then I would say like people were chirping me and I would say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna show you the opposite. But now I feel like I really need more of a, you're good, Charlie, like don't give up, blah blah blah, that type of recomfort. But
You
yeah,
probably shouldn't have said that on the podcast. People are going to hear
yeah,
that and go behind the net now and be like, "You
people,
suck, Charlie."
yeah. The worst I ever heard, two of the worst I ever heard was in Tracadie. I always hear in French, "Hey Austin, veux-tu une poutine?" And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like if I'm having like letting in a bad goal, Austin, put in. I'm like, sure, I want to put in, right? And another one was we were playing against Caracat. So this guy comes to me and he's like, Austin, your pads are so ugly. I'm like, and the ref is beside me. Is like, what is going on here? But that was like so funny. That's the worst chirp I ever had was
Yeah,
my pad.
don't dig on a goalie's pads, man. That's too low.
Yeah, don't.
I feel
No,
like
exactly.
I feel like you don't pick on somebody's wife and kids, and you don't pick on the goalie's pads. Like there's
No,
just lines you don't cross.
yeah, you don't cross that line.
So
So yeah,
no,
I felt really bad,
God.
like picking on my pads. And I
Whoever
think I have
said
one.
that, if you're listening to this, I'm judging you. It's terrible.
Yeah, but I feel I have one of the best set in the league with my red.
The red and black, yeah, they're really
Yeah,
nice.
When you came out in Spring Hill, Corey was actually like, "Oh man, I love his pads." So hey,
yeah. Thank you.
I didn't chirp you last night, but one thing that I will mention, I was behind you and I was looking at your name, the name on the back of your jersey, and I don't know if you know what is behind me, but I'm a huge wrestling fan. And
Okay.
as I'm looking at your name, Stone Cold Steve Austin's music starts, and I'm like, "Ha! Stone Cold's in net."
Yeah, and ball the ball guy. Yeah, and actually
One of the best.
my email for like not my school email, but it's Stone Goal.
of
That was
course,
my
why not?
nickname when I was young. Yeah, Stone Goal.
You didn't try to get the Francophone school district to let you have Stone Cold Austin, no?
No, no.
Those all those businesses, man. Mine's boring too. What are you gonna do? It's terrible,
Uh.
man. Charlie, thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate you. We appreciate
That's
your
fun.
time. Hopefully we'll get you back on. I have a feeling that you've got a few more stories to share with me.
I probably will have more stories. I'll dig into my memories, but I'm having stories. Yeah,
Perfect. We'll
I'm looking
talk
forward to
again
them.
in a few months, maybe just before the playoffs, and we'll make it
sure.
happen, man.
Sounds good. Thanks for
Awesome.
having me.
Nah,
Thank you for
nah.
coming.
My pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for coming, Charles. So for Corey, I'm Corey, and see you soon.
Take care.